Sports Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Mahomes stepping up. He's going to scramble 15. He's at the 10. Cuts back inside the 5. Mahomes rolls into the end zone. Touchdown! Kansas City. A 14-yard scramble for a touchdown.
What a ball game, 33-14, and looking pretty bleak, but would you expect anything else? They've done it all year, and you could kind of see in their eyes in that fourth quarter, and then obviously when you get that touchdown and then, you get the onside kick and go punch another one in pretty quick, that really felt like the momentum was shifting. But
felt like this group needed a win like this, of this caliber, because we've had groups in the past that have had big moments and they've won big games, and you start looking at what's this going to be, what's this group's MO, and what do they do in big games, and to dig ourselves a hole, just continue to row the boat.
Has the snap, Quinn looks to throw, still looks, sends it back in the end zone, caught, touchdown Texas, Xavier Worthy, right on the back line of the end zone.
We didn't play very well the first half, especially on defense. We struggled to get stops. We couldn't tackle Robinson. He's a terrific back.
3rd and goal for the 2, and the pistol is Bean. Turns, fakes the handoff to Neal, throws wide open, underthrown, but it's caught. Jared Casey, touchdown Kansas.
People kind of like, wow, they're really doing something special over there. And, that's just a result of how we've come together as a team, and it just means a lot more to me, especially just because, growing up here, like literally 2 miles away from.
There goes the runner as Castellanos pops it up down the right field line. Tucker into foul territory. He's got it. And that'll do it. The Houston Astros have won the World Series.
Just a few things from the weekend, huh? Yeah, jam-packed. Welcome to Sports Day here on 1590 KBGB, 95.5 FM, Talk of the Town. Steve Webster with you for the Monday Sports Day show. Mike Corson, Mike Hesher also in as we dig into plenty of things here on the program today, including daylight savings time. Yesterday was the longest day in history.
How's that?
It just kept going and going.
Oh, I heard you were complaining about the Chiefs game starting at 6 o'clock and you couldn't get there or something.
No, because I went home Friday because I didn't feel good. So I thought, well, I'll just come down early Sunday morning since you have family in town. I come driving down here, and then I realized that it's like 4:30 in the morning because
you didn't put your clock ahead.
Well, no, I was ill, man. I was in a coma. So then I got all this stuff done, and then it's like 11:15 in the morning. I swear to God, it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and the days just kept tick, tick, tick. And then finally the Chiefs game came on, and then, of course, it goes to overtime. Yeah, the longest day ever. Welcome to daylight savings time.
Are they going to ever just keep it the same?
I kind of like this time when it gets dark early, though. It makes the evening last longer. Plus, I don't got to go to bed when the sun's out.
I prefer standard time myself, but I wish I would just leave it there. But
how did you like Rocky Mountain time?
I enjoyed Rocky Mountain time because everything was over by 9 o'clock, usually. Sporting events were over by 9 o'clock because you have, 9, 10 o'clock.
But it's still 7 o'clock there, right? I don't know. We're not smart enough to figure out time.
Yeah.
Mike Corson, your thoughts on a weekend?
You guys can wake me up when you start talking about sports.
Okay.
Well, I think you just got put in my spot.
This is a man show. We talk about man issues. My issues.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you'd have some insightful thing about, Mike Corson's life from the weekend. Okay, we're moving on here. Okay, on the show today. I'm going to have to deal with Angie now.
Oh, yes, she will. No, she doesn't really pay attention.
Yeah,
she likes the 705.
It was fun for 2 weeks.
Okay, she's moved on. Okay, let's get to the sounds of the past 24. Well, this is the sounds of the weekend. It's a Monday show. The call on B1043, the Point last night. Chiefs couldn't run it. They were having problems throwing it, so, time for number 15 to move into action. Patrick Mahomes scrambles for a touchdown, made it 17-15. Then how many? I think they had like 2 or 3 chances at the 2-point conversion.
There were 2 penalties. There was a third attempt.
Yeah, so they finally got it in, tied it up. The Chiefs end up winning the game last night, 20-17. That was a weird game. The Chiefs, Tennessee's defense is good. Thank goodness they had a backup quarterback in there. Derrick Henry, he ended up at 112 yards. I thought going in, man, if you give up 112 yards to that battering ram, you'd be in pretty good shape, and they were. But Superman had his kryptonite. I think it's that Tennessee defense. So the Chiefs are now 2-7
against
the
Tennessee?
last 9 meetings against Tennessee.
Tennessee's tough.
Oh, that's a great win.
I mean, that's
all of a sudden the Chiefs now tied for the best record in the AFC after the Jets took care of the Buffalo Bills. I think the Chiefs need to check out that game film and see what the Jets did, because they made Josh Allen look very pedestrian yesterday.
Jets, Jets. No, the Kansas City game was fun to watch with a football novice, because especially into overtime, you had all these decisions. 4th and 1 against a team with no offense. So I was like, oh, man, I think they should kick this.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, too, especially they couldn't pick and I was expecting like a triple reverse throwback pass on the 4th down play, and ended up having a running play, which they were able to get it barely.
As Angie says, isn't this just where they all push each other? I said, everybody but Kansas City, and so I kind of thought you would see a pass, but, man, all it takes is a drop or a deflection.
They're able to get the first down, and then you get to overtime. They needed to win the coin toss. And I hope Andy Reid paid attention last night, because I know that if that game could have been completely different had the Chiefs won the toss, because they would have deferred, and then it had been Tennessee that had drove down and taken 13 minutes off the clock on their opening drive. But the Chiefs were able to get up 9-0. They didn't get the ball to start the second half, but that's okay. They kind of figured out Tennessee by that time. Just put 11 guys on the line of scrimmage and not worry about the pass.
Derrick Henry, at his size, he goes back about 8 yards, so he's got that burst to get to the line. Ferocious. But those guys were standing him up. That's unbelievable.
At the line of scrimmage before he gets going. Yeah, you can stop a freight train maybe. I don't know. I've never tried to do that. But once he gets in that secondary, man, he's bad news. Big win for the Chiefs. So they will now take on Jacksonville. Good thing they're coming off a bye week, too. They need a bye week after last. Patrick Mahomes has got to be sore today.
He took a big hit on that touchdown run. He got kind of rolled over onto his back, and he pops up. He never looks like the best athlete, but I tell you what, he can scramble with the best.
For a guy that has it running with his arms out sideways, right?
And he had the balls always.
I was going to say, and tuck the football down. He always carries it out there with that one hand.
Good win last night. So Kansas City, again, they will be home next week against Jacksonville. 6-2. Chiefs now tied with Buffalo for the best record in the AFC. Aaron Beck. Did you expect anything else? 33-14. They get it to 33-28. Salina Central is pretty explosive. We saw that again last night, or on Friday night. They scored again. Panthers came back, got a touchdown late, but by then they couldn't get the onside kick. So Mike Corson, he was there, sideline, impressions on the game for the Great Bend Panthers, whose season ends at 7-3, Mike.
Yeah, to me, it's one of those games. Do you say I would rather go get beat 40-0 and I don't lose sleep over it, or a game like this? Great Bend ties the game, turns Central over on downs, and then they're driving again for the go-ahead right before the half, throws an interception. So you don't know if that's going to impact the way the second half is played, so it's hard to say it cost them the game, but obviously one you can circle. But yeah, it's starting to be a runaway, and then lo and behold, here comes Great Bend, scores, gets the onside kick, scores again, and you're like, no. So then that's when I jumped out of the press box and went back down, because knew after the half it was going to be decided in the fourth quarter, and kudos to those kids for making a game of it. And that's also one where you don't hang your head. Salina Central is a good team. Great season. It was fun to cover for everybody in town, so yeah.
I guess CPL, it's a, everybody kind of beats everyone up. I really felt good about this, but tell me about Kenyon McMillan. How good is he?
And Great Bend had
4
struggled.
touchdowns.
Yeah. It was really both of them. The quarterback had come in with 1,500 passing yards on the season, only threw for like 79. But as the coach told me after the game, we're run pass option. They're whatever reads they were getting. So they both had over 200 yards. I had McMillan for 276 and 4 touchdowns. Wow. And then the quarterback had 67 and 43-yard touchdowns. So, yeah, passing was – I was real worried about just the dual threat of them, but they just torched us on the ground.
What a fun season for Great Bend Panthers, and Aaron Beck will be in on Wednesday's show. We won't have a Thursday sports day, but Coach will be in on Wednesday, and we'll kind of celebrate the season. Patrick Burnett, voice of the Panthers, will be joining us here in the next segment to talk about the game and the season as well. Zach Baird said it was a statement game for his Cardinals on Friday night. They had to come from behind to knock off Russell 22-13. Mike Hesher was in the house on Friday night at Elton Brown Field. Thoughts on the game? Thoughts on the Cardinals' comeback?
Was that your final score that you had there? It was 28-22 was the final.
What did I say? 22. They were down 22-13.
Okay. I had to,
and they won 28-22.
Okay, I didn't hear the winner. Obviously, Russell had 2 big turnovers. Interception there at midfield for Hoisington, and then they turned it over. They had like a 1st and goal from the 5, and they fumbled it. Russell did, and Hoisington was able to run out the clock. Actually, there was another 4th down play that Hoisington was able to stop. So they had to dodge some bullets, but they won it.
Tell me about this Kraft kid, 154 yards. He's kind of emerged here later on in the season.
I think he came out of nowhere for last night, though. I'm not sure about his stats going into last night's game or to Friday night's game, but he was very impressive running the ball.
Tony Moore had a big game.
Tony Moore had a good ball. Yep.
Over 100 yards. So,
and to me, it was a picture-perfect Friday night. It was football season in the fall, and rain was falling. It was gorgeous.
How much rain was falling in Salina?
I was going to say, we had a pretty nice following up there. Great Bend took a good crowd, and it could have rained, but really just spit a couple times. We lucked out.
And congratulations to Russell. They had a great crowd there, as you would expect from them coming 30 miles.
Yeah, but that place was jumping on Friday night.
It was. It was exciting.
They were just trying to stay warm.
Yeah, well, that's what you do when you jump, man. You got to keep going.
It wasn't that bad.
Where'd you sit?
I don't sit. I stand.
Were you up in the press box?
No, I was on the track.
You do not have access to the. They let you down there.
I stand behind the court like everybody else does. They're so scared of. Okay, never. I won't get started.
Okay, all right.
That might be a grumpy old man thing.
Okay, that's tomorrow. Save that for it. Okay, so now it's going to be number 1 southeast of Saline. They rolled in their regional game, beating Chaparral 50-14.
The Roadrunners.
The Roadrunners, yeah.
Yeah. We knew going in that Kingman and Southeast were going to be the 2 teams to beat probably on the west side, and so Hoisington was going to draw one or the other. I don't know, pick your poison there, but having seen Southeast toy with Ellsworth, it's a tough game, and it would be a tough game for anybody.
I think that Kingman-Beloit game will be very interesting.
I think Kingman's going to take care of them.
Do you really?
Yeah, I've been on Kingman all year now. It's going to be good enough to beat the winner.
Yeah, but Beloit, they're coming on strong like they always do.
They do, and they have.
I thought the Maxville score was.
Ooh, that was shocker. Yes, it was.
That was kind of because I was wondering because they get a little bit more rain down there, and that football field at Maxville it's pretty flat. You get the later part of the year, and as Mustangs head coach, that did not fit us. I mean, Rawlins County, that's what they did. For a mutter game, and they converted a big 4th down and long play for a touchdown. They returned the opening kick for a touchdown, and then it just snowballed after that. And then late in the third quarter's when it ended. So the Mustang season ends, and it's been a good year for Northwest Kansas 8-man football. There's some good teams up there too. So 7-2. Going against 9-0, I think Rawlins County played against a tougher schedule for sure, and then taking advantage of field conditions and
the field conditions, like Hoisington going up to Norton a couple years ago.
Oh yeah,
I think if you switch that 48 hours, I don't think there's any doubt who wins. But playing a snow bowl, even Great Bend's game, there was several drop passes, and you kind of wonder if cold hands or something played So, and then it was so nice Saturdays. Like, oh, I just wish we could have played this Saturday.
Move it back, just like they do, college baseball games. That's going to rain. We'll just move it up a day or a day later. Okay, college football Saturday. Craig Way, the call on Learfield Sports. Xavier Worthy scoring from 3 yards out on a TD reception. That put Texas up 31-10. K-State tried to get back in it, got it 34-27, had the ball back with 4:26 left. But Adrian Martinez fumbling away, 34 seconds left. That sealed the outcome. Chris Kleiman talking about they didn't tackle well in the first half. Got things squared away in the second, but K-State drops a big game, and they will play at Baylor on Saturday. The call on Learfield Sports, Brian Haney as Jared Casey catching a pass that was thrown down low, but he went and got it, put KU up 31-7 on Oklahoma State. Jayhawks rolled. How about Devin Neal, 224 yards, 110 receiving yards, the former Lawrence High School Lion, saying what it means to him to be able to do that at KU, just a few blocks away from Lawrence High.
Leaving Friday, old Kirk Kennedy says I need to get back on the KU bandwagon. Well, I'm back because K-State is going to save a red shirt and cost us a chance in the Big 12 title game for what? You can't get in a shootout with Adrian Martinez.
Yeah, and that really wasn't brought up in the press conference. I tried to, if someone was going to say, well, did you think it really never came up?
So, I mean, it's a loss. I would have been upset anyway, but to not maybe put your best team out there, I was like, nah, I don't need to watch this anymore. How about Bijan Robinson getting his name, image, likeness with a Lamborghini? That's the best one I've heard so far.
Who's it? Yeah. So I don't want to say anything because it's probably not going to happen, but, KU still got a shot at playing in the Big 12 title game.
Well, and I was going to say
also, don't roll your eyes.
I did not know that. It's obviously a long shot.
Well, they play Texas. They still got Kansas State in Manhattan.
The fun thing about KU still is Mason Fairchild and Jared Casey, Kansas kids, and they're making some big plays.
And they haven't had that in a while, for sure. So K-State or KU, and they play at Texas Tech on Saturday. So I hope it's a Saturday afternoon game. I think it is, Mr.
I don't know that one, sir.
Okay.
I don't think that far ahead.
What's bad this week? 60s, 70s most of the week. We get to football games, 43 for a high on Friday.
That's football weather. It's football weather.
That's what I'm saying.
And it gets dark at 2 o'clock now.
And baseball. See, you didn't want to jump in on the daylight savings time stuff to begin with, so I can't complain about it now. Astros win the World Series.
Who?
Yeah, baseball season's over. The Astros.
So Buddy said, you think the Royals are going to do anything in the offseason? And I said, I don't know about these guys.
Manager Dusty Baker, 73 years old, gets his first World Series title. Just warms your heart. There you go, sounds of the weekend. Some weekend sports headlines for you. Congratulations to the Barton women's soccer team. 15th-ranked Lady Cougars win in a shootout, 5-4 over 4th-ranked Butler. That's the first program Region 6 title for the women and Plains District title. So they go to Evans, Georgia for the national tournament November 13th through the 19th. You guys had soccer talk.
Yes, we did. They were very good. Well, he bailed on me, so it was all Coach O.C. and Raphael Simmons, the head coach of the men's top. Yeah.
I figured they're going to want that tournament covered. Did they save me a seat?
Your little car can start going down
well,
there.
You
right
bailed
now.
on them. They want to take me. I'm the one that...
Hash, you deserve to go, except I probably got days.
Yeah, I know. Don't even go there.
You got days off.
Rats.
Postseason honors. You posted it yesterday on GreatBendPost.com. Congratulations going out to Valerie Luna, Western Athletic Conference Volleyball Player of the Year, Mike.
And she was the leading hitter on the team, but I think she got the award because of her defense. She was, I think, 5 blocks shy of taking the Class 5A lead. So she was a force on both sides, but it was especially fun to watch as a defensive blocker.
Riley Duvall also earning first-team honors. Junior Sadie Spray earning second-team honors for the Lady Panthers. Saturday, Barton basketball. Cougar men lose to Triton College, 89-83 at Hutchinson. Barton women stay undefeated, 74-48. I think Alan Clark's going to be in there on the show tomorrow, so we can talk about that. The Cougars will be at home tomorrow taking on Neosho County. Bill Self won't be on the sideline tonight. 5th-ranked Jayhawks open their season against Omaha. So
the Mavericks.
Self and Curtis Townsend will be serving the first in a 4-game suspension. Hopefully that's going to be all that we'll have.
Who's the head man then? Who will be coaching KU?
Norm Roberts.
Oh, okay. You're right.
Yeah, big Norm's there.
Okay.
So also opening the season tonight, and I should have done more. Who is, University of UTRGV is who K-State plays tonight.
Rio Grande Valley.
Okay, thank you.
I have no idea. I'm just guessing.
Come on.
Well, it fits, doesn't it?
University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. We'll look it up.
You said Tennessee, and he said Rio Grande. I'm like, I don't think so, but UT could.
But see, I
very
do.
well be
UTRG. You're supposed to do you're the research coordinator here. Wichita State opening tonight against Central Arkansas. College basketball season is up.
Home of Scottie Pippen. Didn't Scottie Pippen go to Central Arkansas?
He did.
Okay.
The Central Arkansas Bears.
Speaking of Tennessee, how good was McAfee on College Game Day? They're in Georgia, and he breaks into the Rocky Top chant. That's good TV.
Well, it didn't work out.
I was going to say, what was the final score in that one?
We saw who number one is.
Yeah, Georgia. They played some defense. 28-13 was that score. Joey Logano winning his second NASCAR championship over the weekend. In case you're a NASCAR fan, I used to be, but Jeff Gordon retired, and that's not a sport for me anymore, but I know some people might keep track. And the Colts fire Frank Reich today. ESPN loses their NFL insider. They named Jeff Saturday, who's been on ESPN, so he's going to be their interim coach. So maybe, you're coaching now. Maybe we'll lose you possibly to.
If I keep it up.
If you keep
unofficially 2-0.
Yeah, but those games didn't count though for youth soccer, right?
Exhibition games.
Yeah, we put on an exhibition.
So it was kind of like a jamboree though. So you're the team to beat in this 3-team league right now.
So far,
they're gunning for you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to tell them Wednesdays. Now they know what we got.
All right. Gosh, I'm going to look that up. Hesher, you've got some and KVGB media.
Do you want to talk about this now?
Insider.
Okay.
Mike Hesher with some interesting facts here.
Okay. Normally you would think football would outdraw baseball, correct? Well, in the World Series Game 5 last Thursday, there were 12.768 million viewers watched Game 5 on Fox. There were only 7.855 million viewers watching Thursday Night Football on Prime. But that was obviously it's different because you're talking over-the-air TV as opposed to streaming. So I just thought.
And it was both the same market, so
that's the interesting part. And if you go down the same market, it was amazing that the World Series won all of them in Houston and Philadelphia.
Herb Street or John Smoltz, I don't know.
John Smoltz.
He's pretty knowledgeable. He called a good series.
John Smoltz, yeah, MLB Network, yeah, he's a big Herb Street. Yeah, I'm a big Herb Street guy. Okay, now, what did you say, Hesh?
I said University of Rio Grande Valley.
University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. You are absolutely correct.
So I do get one of those free tickets to the chicken and chili.
Indeed you do.
Thank you.
You're a winner, the chili and chicken noodle soup supper.
Well,
since by the way, we'll give some more of those tickets away tomorrow morning.
Since I got to fill in for you this Thursday and Friday of this week.
I don't know what to do. I've got too much. I've got too many vacation days. Okay.
We'll suffer.
All right. Okay. Very good. All right. Patrick Burnett coming up next here. He'll recap the Panthers football season. Also coming on today, Jim Misunas, Great Bend Tribune here on Sports Day.
Carpentry is a rewarding career for people who like working with their hands and find gratification in making things. Barton Community College makes it faster to break into this high-demand career with great earning potential. Learn the skills you need to get started in a new carpentry career in just one semester. Classes are held from 8 a.m. through noon, Monday through Friday, leaving afternoons open for a part-time job or apprenticeship. Visit GoBarton.com to get started.
If you're not filling with Cenex Premium Diesel, then you're not giving your fuel system the premium treatment. Cenex Roadmaster XL comes with a more complete additive package for a more complete burn, while restoring your power by up to 4.5% and your fuel economy by up to 5%. Typical number 2 diesel? I guess it covers the basics. Cenex Premium Diesel. Diesel that doesn't mess around.
Contact American Plains Co-op in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor today.
Kansas. These are serious times. Yet we have politicians who lack the strength to stand for our values. Politicians with no backbone. Rhino politicians. That's what we have in Derek Schmidt. Schmidt's a rhino who won't stand with President Trump to defend our border. He supported in-state tuition for illegal immigrants at our public colleges and then said our country is not going to deport them. Imagine that. Illegal immigrants paying the same in-state rates our own kids do. Feels like Derek Schmidt wants to fundamentally change what makes Kansas special. He's just another moderate rhino Republican. But we have a better choice. Conservative independent Dennis Pyle. The only conservative on the ballot. Dennis Pyle gets it. He knows our immigration system is broken. Pyle opposes amnesty for illegal immigrants and knows it's time we finish building President Trump's border wall. This November, we need to take a stand for Kansas. Paid for by the American Center.
It's time to talk Great Bend Panther sports with the voice of the Panthers, Patrick Burnett, right here on Sports Day.
Dang straight, Patrick Burnett joining us here on Sports Day today. Patrick played hurt today, played hurt on Friday night, but still brought you the broadcast between the Great Bend Panthers and Salina Central Mustangs. Regional playoff action in the 5A playoffs. What a game, Patrick. And heck, you had to be thinking, okay, here we go again. We're down 33-14, it's 33-28, no problem, right? And then a quick touchdown. What a game, and what a season for the Great Bend Panthers, and just came up on the short end on Friday night.
Yeah, Steve, you're exactly right. It was kind of that feeling of, gosh, it's been like the whole month of October that Great Bend has had some kind of fourth quarter rally, be it late, be it early or when. The only difference with this one is after the one play knockout punch, you're thinking, okay, this is the one time that that they aren't able to get up off the deck, and by gosh, they went down, scored, got the onside kick, went and scored, and then all of a sudden it's a one-score game with 5 minutes to go, and you're thinking, okay, we kick it deep, they got to drive the length of the field. Maybe our defense can get a stop, maybe a takeaway, but just too strong of an offense from Central as they have shown why they are a very, very legit team, and they got a really good shot to knock out Hayes coming up on Friday. But no, my phone was blowing up with people that were listening to the game saying, oh, we got them right where we want them, and yeah, it kind of felt that way. Once they recovered that onside kick and scored, you thought, okay, can these boys do it one more time? But just not enough gas left in the tank. But I'm still shocked and blown away by what a remarkable season it was. I don't think there were too many people that looked at this team that said, okay, this team's going to end up 7-3, have a 7-game winning streak, in there and get over the big, long losing streak. And just the fun and the success of this group was a really perfect story. And it's a shame that it had to come to an end, but I feel that the way Great Bend played, they couldn't have done anything better. A lot of times you kick yourself, well, if we wouldn't have done this, if we wouldn't have did this or whatever. I really felt Great Bend played as good of a game as they could have played, and they just got beat. Sometimes that just happens.
We find out about coaches in seasons like this, Patrick, because a lot of times Aaron Beck comes in and let's face, I mean, he had some talent that was there, and they had some really good seasons. But then you get into the thing, well, with all that talent, he should have won the state championship. It's just the way fans are, right? But then you come into a year like this, I think Aaron Beck, I mean, he showed us what kind of football coach he did. I think he made a believer out of a lot of people this year, Aaron and the coaching staff.
Oh, absolutely. You know, there were a couple of changes on this staff, and I think that made a big difference. You know, just a couple of fresh breaths, you know, breathing some new life into this program. And Coach Beck had told me that this was the most fun that he's had coaching a team in his 7 years here at Great Bend High School. And you could really tell it. And I think he kind of changed his approach a little bit with this team. And they just soaked it up. And you could tell once this team got some confidence, man, they just took off like a jet plane. And absolutely, the coaching staff has a lot to do with it.
And the senior buy-in. I mean, these guys have been kicked around, knocked down, dragged around. And, you know, the class, well, everybody's talking about, well, the younger classes is where the Panthers, you know, that's when we're going to be good again. They just shut out the noise and went out and worked their tails off. And it's just, it's amazing. I told Aaron Beck, you know, he's coming on the show on Wednesday. I said, you know, we can talk about the game a little bit, but this is a celebration of a season that no one expected. And hats off to the senior group that, like I said, they didn't listen to anybody else. They just went out and got the job done.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things I'm going to remember the most, you know, about this specific team was you got to remember these seniors had not tasted success at the varsity level. The last win that they had been a part of, they were freshmen when the varsity had gotten a win. So a lot of people had written this class off, and they just came to work with the lunch pail approach. And you could really see that there were several of these guys. They had some things they wanted to prove. Caden Sharman, you know, he really wanted to prove to some people that, you know, he deserved that starting role last year. And yes, he struggled a little bit and showed some inexperience, but he really took it to heart, and he worked incredibly hard to improve his game. Matthew Mader leading the defense, and you know, unselfishly, when Coach came to him and said, "We need you to play offensive line," you know, that's not the most glamorous position on the field, but he said, "Okay, I'll do it." And you could see as he got better, his buy-in got better, and he adapted. And then you have a wide receiver like a Braylon Council who has a ton of ability, and many defenses were scheming against him to take him away, and yet he got so excited when his teammates had success and did well. So you saw all of those things, and maybe from the stands you weren't able to see a lot of those things as a spectator, but that's some of the things that I was able to see through the program. The coaches noticed it. Some of the players shared that as well. And yeah, you know, when you see your group of seniors leading that way, it's easy to follow the path, and everybody bought in. And all in all, that's what made this team that turned things around and ended up having a great 7-3 season.
Boy, you look back at the time that you've done the Panthers, Patrick, there's been some good quarterback wide receiver combinations, really, really good technical pass running wide receivers. But man, to watch Caden Sharman and Braylon Council this year, they talked about it on the game on last night. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, they're just out there playing schoolyard football. They know each other so well, and that was the way Sharman and Council were this year. They always knew where the other guy was going to be. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, it really was. And, I mean, how many times did we hear Coach Beck, you know, hey, tell us about the play call. Oh, that's backyard football, just two guys playing it out,
yeah.
You know. I mean, you don't really see that very often in high school football. It just doesn't happen that much. And so, yes, the chemistry that those two had was something that was really, really cool to see. You know, Braylon setting a school record throughout the season in the single-season game as well. So, yeah, those two, an excellent combo. When I look back and I think about some of the others, of course, Jacob Murray, Bryce Lytle,
yeah.
You know, the most successful team that Aaron Beck has had yet was that group. And then you think of maybe Dalton Miller. You know, he wasn't probably the best quarterback that Great Bend has ever had, but my goodness, he was a solid athlete, and they put the ball in his hands. And then you throw the ball to a guy like Schramer, who is playing right now at Fort Hays State University. They had some great camaraderie, and even if you go back to the season before that, Coy Brock was spinning the ball out there to Schramer as well. So Great Bend fans have been pretty fortunate to see some pretty good quarterback to wide receiver tandems. Yes, just in my time, but yeah, you can go back further and you can see some other dudes in there as well. But just in my time, those are some of the best that I'm going to remember.
Okay, what's on the table coming up now? I mean, there's a lot of freshmen that saw some time this year. Where are we looking at? That's what we always do, Well, seniors move on. Thanks, fellas. But what's up next for Panther football?
Man, the future looks bright, in my opinion, Steve. Yes, so much of the attention is put on this freshman class. The 8th grade class has some really good athletes, and they had a lot of success at middle school this year as well. So when that 8th grade class becomes next year's freshman class, and that freshman class goes up to sophomore, you're going to expect a lot of those guys to be participating and to be contributing at this level. But the thing I saw the most about these lower classes, they really pushed the upperclassmen to stand up and to up their game and to up their efforts. And I think you kind of saw that this year with some of the varsity kids. And coaches told them, your spots aren't guaranteed. And so some of these young kids came in and really pushed those upperclassmen to work hard, to put more time in the weight room, to watch more film, and it just made the whole team so much better. So absolutely, I think the future looks great. I love the schedule that Great Bend has. It'll be the same schedule next year. The only difference will be the home and aways. So I really think we're starting to see what could be a solid run over the next 2, 3, 4 years of Great Bend Panther football, and it's going to be really, really exciting for Panther Nation. This area really was hungry to see their Panthers rise back up, and they really bought into this team. So, yeah, I think the future looks bright for Aaron Beck and the Panthers.
Okay, just now they turn to the indoor sports. Basketball. Tell me about the Lady Panthers and Panther boys real quick.
Well, I think the Lady Panthers are poised to have a really breakthrough season. You've got Sadie Spray and Emily Hall and Kinsey Premer that were all starters last year that are all going to be coming back as juniors. Seeing a lot of those girls are going to be seeing their 3rd year of varsity action. And then there were a lot of even younger girls that got onto the floor last year as some freshmen. So I really expect Cindy Beck's team to compete for a WAC title this year, and I really expect them to be maybe a surprise team by other people's standards, but I could really see this team stepping up and making a run in sub-state and potentially being a surprise team making the state tournament. As for Kyle Cree and the Panther boys, you know what? I think they have the potential. There's going to be a lot of guys that haven't played a ton of varsity minutes yet, but you're going to see Carter Combs. He adjusted his level last year as a sophomore, making that jump from Chanute to Great Bend. That's a pretty big jump in competition level. But you'll probably see him move to the 1 with the graduation of Sage Kelch. So, I think we'll start to see Carter kind of develop more into an all-around player. Maddox Spray, I think, is a kid that could have a breakout year. Parker Dix is an absolute rifleman, and he's one of those kids that had got some sparingly varsity minutes, but if he can kind of keep developing a little bit, the kid can flat out shoot. He's probably the best shooter that I would have seen as the voice of the Great Bend Panthers. So there is definitely some tools there for some success. So either way, I think it's going to be a really fun winter for the Panther basketball team and the Lady Panthers.
Patrick, appreciate it, and you will be back on here before long, okay? Just Just trust me.
10-4.
Okay, all right. Patrick Burnett, voice of the Panthers, with us here on Sports Day.
Voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
I had a young gal come in the other day who has been having chronic back pain. Did a session just helping her to understand her pain, not understanding her back, but teaching her how her nervous system works. And just that knowledge just calmed her down so much. She came back in this morning, huge smile on her face, and she was so excited to learn more. It was a blast.
Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
This year is more important than ever.
Don't fall for liberals. They'll just drive us in the ditch.
Prices are too high for me and my family.
Democrats are putting criminals first.
A vote for anybody other than a Republican is a vote for Joe Biden's agenda.
Join me in voting Republican.
For our communities.
For our veterans.
For safer streets.
I'm voting Republican.
Vota por los republicanos.
Vote Republican for a strong Kansas and a stronger America. I'm Ron Estes, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ron Estes for Congress.
He's a veteran of high school and college sports coverage in Kansas. Sports Day presents the Great Bend Tribune's Jim Misunas.
Jimbo's in with us today, and we've got a lot of great Sports Day listeners that give the hosts needed information. UT Grande, Texas, University of Texas, Rio Grande. The Vaqueros are going to be at Kansas State tonight. Lane Lord is the women's coach. Of course, Lane was the Barton women's coach here before going to Pittsburgh State. Todd Moore telling me that. Also, let's see, Lyles Lashley also informed me of that. And also that Matt Figure, the men's coach, was at K-State with Frank Martin. So there you go.
That's great trivia. From
it is. You got to know
listeners.
the Vaqueros. I guess that's their mascot.
Is Todd Moore going down to national soccer?
Well, I would hope so.
Okay,
someone's going to give us the information back. So
yeah, that was amazing victory by Barton women's soccer. They were short 2 players because of some officiating calls when they played Butler.
Don't curl your lip up like that. Every time you say officiating calls.
Well, go ahead and ask anybody from Barton and Todd, and he'll tell you. But
Todd
anyway,
never says anything bad about officials.
No, he won't, but he'll tell you the truth. But anyway, it was sweet revenge for Barton to beat Butler. You know, playing 11-on-11 instead of 9-on-11.
Yeah,
it was nice for them to do.
Winning in a shootout. So congratulations to the Lady Cougars. Jim Misunas covering high school football. We'll go ahead and hit on Great Bend a little bit. I know we talked a lot with Patrick about the Panthers, but again, what a season by Great Bend. Kind of you go 7-3, but man, what a fun year. They kind of caught the imagination of the community, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, and what's amazing, 5 comeback victories in a row. So they're down 3 touchdowns with a quarter left. They scored 2 in a row. Had they got the ball back, I have no doubt they would have won the game. But they didn't get the ball back. So it was Salina Central's offense is awfully good, and they rushed for almost 500 yards. So it made it tough. But had Great Bend got a shot, I think they would have won the ball game.
Because they believe, isn't it? Isn't that amazing?
They'd done it 5 straight games, and they would have done it a 6th time because they almost 2 drives, 2 touchdowns, and they got back in the ball game. So, yeah, credit to Aaron Beck and his crew. Great Bend's got 5 offensive and 8 defensive starters back for next year. Because Deion Jones didn't finish the season, but he was a reliable starter all year, and then he had an injury mid-season. And then Trent Kern and Ian Premer, freshman starters, which is really tough.
And Kern hardly ever left the field, right?
No, Kern was certainly one of the top players.
I know he caught your eye this year.
Oh, yeah,
sure.
because, you know, when you see a kid playing aggressive, playing with confidence, you just look up the numbers and say, man, that's that freshman kid. And, yeah, Trenton made an impact. Played aggressively, played with confidence as a freshman, which is not easy to do. Sometimes you play tentative because you don't know what to do. But Trent's philosophy is, I'm going to play aggressive and let everything work out.
Yeah, against, guys that are a lot older than me, too. Hoisington advances. Quite the game. Cardinals come back and beat a very good Russell team who really got going as the season went on. And what a great year for Russell, and you got to be happy for that community and that football program to turn it around like they did and put up some numbers that hadn't been done in a long. I think the last playoff win was 1979, something like that. It was ridiculous, and they pushed the Cardinals. Now Hoisington gets the win and came from behind to do it, and I know Zach Baird was pretty happy with that.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. You get in the playoffs, and you hope to get a home game or two, and they were fortunate to do that. But, yeah, Russell is certainly, along with Ellsworth, was as far as area teams, what a fun season it is when you've been down in football for so long. Hadn't had a playoff win in 40 years, and you come back and pull out a victory in the playoffs and almost pull off a second victory. So, yeah, Southeast Saline is pretty much the acclaimed number one team in the class. They've thrown for 1,999 yards. So I think they'll probably have a pretty good shot to get over 2,000. But the Gephardt brothers are awfully tough. They roll up a lot of 206 yards passing, 240 yards rushing. And two of their wins are impressive. They beat Beloit head-to-head, and they beat Rock Creek. And both those teams are in the quarterfinals.
That Rock Creek game was about their closest game of the year, I believe.
Yeah, it was 26-14, and then Beloit they handled fairly. But if they played Beloit now, it would be a very close game. And it gives Hoisington some hope because Beloit's similar to Hoisington, run-oriented, powerful offensive line, and good, decent running back. So if Hoisington can keep the ball and run the play, 10, 15 play drives, they'll have a shot.
Well, yeah, as you look at the recipe for success, just look at last night Tennessee Titan KC game.
Yeah, you got to run the ball and control the clock as much as you can, and then you got a shot. And you got to play great defense. Hoisington's defense has been awfully good all year, but this will be the toughest test. In fact, I think Coach Baird has got 20 of the 25 playoff wins in Hoisington history. I believe this Southeast Saline team is the best team they've ever played.
Well, it'll
be quite a challenge.
Yeah, that's going to be Friday night. The other semifinal on the west side is Kingman. They're undefeated, taking care of Ellsworth on Friday night fairly handily. And so Kingman will take on that Beloit team who, like they did last year, is on a roll right now. But I don't know if Beloit's going to have an answer for Kingman. Maxville, well, Rollins County came in with a record of 7-2, but as I said before, it's been a pretty good year for 8-man football in Northwest Kansas, and their schedule was tougher during the regular season and had some bad things happen for the Mustangs, including the opening kickoff, and a bad track didn't help them out either. Quite the year for the Mustangs.
Yeah, the field conditions really hurt, and the absence of Hector Gomez really hurt the Mustangs because he's a player who could have.
Did he get hurt, or did he not play in the game?
He didn't play, but I believe he must have had an injury of some kind because he played a couple plays a week ago, and then he went out and never came back in. So he must have had an injury that I'm unaware about. But
yeah, that's
that really
second
hurt.
Leading rusher, 17 touchdowns going into this game.
Because the problem with Ryan Kuckelman is when you're on a wet field with bad turf, he's long-legged. It's just the worst possible conditions for a guy who's got a long stride. You want the short guy with short, choppy steps who can navigate that field. And, it just was a perfect mix of bad weather and bad field conditions. And again, the opening kickoff goes to the 1-yard line, and the Atwood quarterback is waiting to pick the ball up, waiting to see it go in the end zone, waiting to see it go out of bounds. It lands and stops at the 1. Picks it up and goes 79 yards for a touchdown. So, it set a bad tone. And the first drive, 10-yard penalty, so Maxville starts from the 10-yard line, and Atwood only got to go 20 yards for their second drive. So
they converted a big fourth down play, I believe.
They had a fourth down play for a touchdown. So, Atwood's Rawlins County hit all the big plays. It was just one of those. And you see that in 8-man. Boy, once that momentum goes, it's tough. It wasn't a 46-point game on an even playing field, but on that night it was, unfortunately. But, what a great season for Coach Bright and Maxville Mustangs, and they're going to have a banner basketball season, so they'll certainly take that into the basketball season.
Okay, so you got Hoiston southeast of Saline, and really you're stretching it out. A game that I'm kind of looking at, Thunder Ridge at Victoria.
Yeah, Victoria.
Friday night. That's going to be a good game.
Victoria hasn't been tested all year, so they're certainly legitimate. And that hurt Maxville too. It'd been nice had they played Victoria during the season and got a real severe test during the year, because that's the kind of team you're going to see in the playoffs eventually. So, unfortunately, the schedule didn't work in their favor.
You can see all the matchups, greatbendpost.com. College basketball season getting underway tonight. KU, K-State, Wichita State. So here we go, basketball season, football season starting to wind down a little bit. Great time of the year right now, Jim.
Yeah, it is. Triple header for basketball. Iowa State women and Emily Ryan got started at 11 a.m. this morning.
How'd they do?
But they did quite well, 87-54 over Cleveland State. Miss Ryan had 6 points and 5 assists, but she made the play of the game. Right at halftime, the clock's winding down. Cleveland State's holding the ball. They get the shot blocked and balls at half court. Emily Ryan's on the floor, half court, falls on the floor, tips the ball forward to a teammate, and scores a half-ending score. So a typical Emily Ryan with a great hustle play.
So where are they playing that?
They were at home at Ames.
Oh, really? They had an early game in Ames?
Yeah,
I thought maybe they were in, like, Costa Rica or something like that.
No, they're getting the games in their top 10 preseason, and Emily was top 5 preseason All Big 12. So, yeah, they're going to have another great year, great season, and super coaching up there, and they've got a fun team to watch. Really, it goes back to the Kansas State days where they had all the Kansas players with Lori Kane and company. It reminds me of that. Fun team to watch, and they just play with such a fun spirit of basketball.
Yeah, too bad that Emily wasn't playing point guard on that team. K-State women during that span would have won the national championship.
Yeah, they
needed a point guard away.
That was a great shooting team. They just needed one more distributor.
Jim, appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
You bet. Good luck.
Jim Misunas, Great Bend Tribune, joining us here on Sports Day.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
There is a tremendous demand for plumbers, and Barton Community College just made it faster and simpler to break into this high-wage career. In only one semester, master the skills needed to get started. Classes are held from 8 a.m. through noon, Monday through Friday, leaving afternoons open for a part-time job or apprenticeship. Sign up today and start your new career after just one semester of coursework. Visit GoBarton.com to get started.
Venture Corporation is now hiring for a CDL tanker operator driver. We'll operate the same truck all week. New higher wages with flexible hours, no weekends, and time and a half over 40 hours. Blue Cross and Blue Shield health insurance, vision insurance, Section 125 cafeteria plan, 401k retirement plan with match. Venture Corporation is an equal opportunity employer. Women and minorities encouraged. Apply in person at 214 South Highway 281 in Great Bend. Online at VentureCorpKS.com or call Leslie at Venture Corporation. Homegrown, family owned.
The high-rise renovation is nearly complete. The final touches are being put on the apartments and the common areas. So now's a great time to fill out an application. Our building is close to shopping, dining, and entertainment and provides stunning views of downtown. Rent is based on your income with all utilities included. Apply now and make the high-rise your new home. Learn more or apply at gbhaks.com. Great Bend Housing Authority, equal housing opportunity.
It's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
I'm sorry, Hesh. I got too gabby. So
shocking.
Yeah, imagine
you got too gabby.
Okay, matchups. 2A playoffs on the east side. Caney Valley will be at Sabetha. 2 8-2 teams. Nemaha Central. Very good ball club. They 10-0. They play at Humboldt, 8-2. Then Houston, the southeast of Saline on the west side. Kingman at Beloit. Class 1A, St. Mary's at Pitt Colgan. Olpe at Centralia. I'd love to see that game. Wabunzie at Conway Springs. Smith Center at Inman. 8-man Division 1. Burlingame at Linden. Little River at Chase County. Two teams that are 9-1. And Little River, their only loss this season coming to Canton Galva. Chase County beat a South Sumner team that I thought might be the dark horse on that east side, but Chase County beat them. So on the west, Hill City at Meade, Rawlins County at Wichita County, 8-man 2, Lebo at Canton Galva, Axtell at Osborne. That's on the east. Thunder Ridge at Victoria. Keep an eye on that game. That's going to be fun. Dighton at Wallace County. And then 6-man football, Tesket at Waverly, Wetmore at Cunningham, Northern Valley at Ashland, and Ingalls plays at Cheyenne. 5A, so Salina Central now plays at Hayes. Doggone it, that's the game that I wanted to see the Panthers in. Central 8-2, Hayes 9-1. Hutchinson, who got the surprise win. Hutchinson, I don't care, they back. Yeah, they beat Bishop Carroll. They play at unbeaten Mays. That's on the west. Pittsburgh at Mill Valley, and Blue Valley Southwest at DeSoto. That's in 5A. So, and then you want the private schools matchups in 4A.
It is the Eastern Kansas League. If you listen to Chet Copeland and all, you know these. It's those Eastern Kansas League. That's the toughest league in the state. He's corrupted me.
Well, I'm not going to argue with Chet. So
I mean, he's corrupted me.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back to wrap up Sports Day after this.
When you need to get rid of the pain, you want the best. You need to see Dr. Dan Quillen at Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Dr. Dan is Barton County's only board-certified clinical specialist in orthopedic physical therapy. No matter your age, when it hurts, he will help. Call Dan at 620-282-4825. That's 282-4825. Excellence-driven, unrivaled results. Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Inside the Fieldhouse at 9th and Madison and Great Bend.
Get the latest 5G devices at Nextech Wireless. Now you can get the iPhone 14 Pro and the Samsung Galaxy S22 Plus on us, or up to $999 off any other device. And that's not all. You can also get half off a new Apple Watch when you bring your number to us. Nextech Wireless. We are Kansas.
I am Joanne Roth, the Democratic nominee for State Representative, the 113th District. Vote like democracy depends on it.
Paid for by Joanne Roth for State Representative, Kent Roth, Treasurer.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Welcome back, Sports Day. Steve Webster, Mike Hesher in with you here. I love Misunas. He comes in and points out those predictions for the Chiefs' record this year. You know, I mean, that's
oh man,
that's good stuff to bring up.
Yeah, let's see. Webby 13-4, Corson's 11-6,
and Dr. Doom. What?
I was 13-4 as well. No, 10-7. I'm not looking too good right now.
Well, no, that's good. I'm glad you're not looking good.
Well, I never look good.
Well, one, I would hate for the fact that the Chiefs could be going for a 10-7 record, and the other one, then to hear you gloat. I heard you're a big gloater.
All lies. Have you heard me gloat about the success of Trading Post?
Well, that's like taking over a champ.
Okay, let's take it over like the Yankees or somebody like
exactly.
that. Okay, I get the Houston Astros. That's what I get.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I was cheating, all that time, and you came in and took over. So. Yes, the one and only Mike Hesher, host of Trading Post and Sports Day here, and more. Okay, coming up tomorrow on the show, Cole Reif will get a good look at that Hoisington southeast of Saline matchup. Alan Clark, head coach of the Barton women, I think is in. I've confirmed.
You hope so?
Yeah, I hope so.
Because they play tomorrow night, both the men and women.
Neosho County at home, so we'll have basketball for you tomorrow night on B1043 The Point.
Hopefully.
Thanks for joining us here on... Thanks for joining us on the Monday show. Talk to you tomorrow on KVGB.